Welcome to this first edition of Flexing Fridays. Today we're going to be exploring 3 apps in 3 10-minute bite-sized chunks. And for those of you that would like more information, I will be posting the links to the resources and the links to the actual apps themselves on our Flexing Fridays Facebook page. So we're going to start off and I'm going to attempt to explain these apps in 10 minutes or less because I know it is Friday and our concentration levels seem to be a little bit lower than usual. So we want to take advantage of the way our minds are thinking. So when I look at the schedule, the first app we're going to show you is an app called Whiteboard.chat. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you how to open it up first, and then I'm going to show you one that is already open and what you can do with it. Now, we all know that whiteboards are very helpful, and in particular, it's very helpful to have one in a classroom. But of course, not all your students are with you in the classroom. So Whiteboard.chat helps to bridge the divide when you have a hybrid situation. It also assists when you are teaching an online class and you would like to actually see the work that the students are doing live while the session is going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And what you'll notice is when you go to whiteboard.chat, you will come to the main page. And I'm going to click on Start Drawing. And then I'm going to go to Start Teaching. And what you will find is that you have a beautiful board in front of you. And this particular board is blank. It says unnamed, so you put your name over there. The bottom left-hand corner, number 1, tells you which page you are on. So you can put in 5 or 10 pages of particular things you want to put in for a class. And then, of course, the students would be able to access these pages. You've got a whole set of tools on the left-hand side, and I'll explain some of those to you. You've also got a few things on the top on the right, and I'll explain those to you. And then you've got a couple of tools over here on the bottom right, and then you've got the word invite. And I want to show you how powerful this can be when we use these tools to our advantage. So I'm going to now go to a board that I've already signed in. You'll notice I've put Mr. S there, so my students know who I am. And I'm going to just close off all the others so that you don't get distracted by it. Okay, so over here on the left-hand side, we've got a range of things that we could add. So text, for example, if I want to click over here and add text, I can type in, hello, how are you? And let's pretend the words go a little bit over. If I do click on it, there's a teeny little square over there, and I can always drag this and resize it as I see fit. Of course, if I want to delete it, I click on here. Here we go, and we're going to delete it. See if that works. Delete. Delete. There we go. Right click and right click, delete, and it's gone. All right. So the first thing I wanted to show you is what's quite cool about this is you can load a PDF or a JPEG or any picture or a worksheet on the page. And now I want the students to work on that. So the beautiful thing about this is that when you click on invite, it creates either a QR code or a link. And if I click on that link and I paste it into the chat or into Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams or whatever learner management system you're using, the students will all get that link and they'll click on it. And I want to show you what happens when they do. So I'm going to click on incognito mode. And I'm going to open up the link. And hopefully, let me just make sure that you are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. When I go to incognito mode, it allows me to enter. I'm going to call myself Steve Test. So I'm a student and I join the board. And there we go. It says Steve Test has now joined the board. And this is what I see. So when I'm seeing the teacher's board on my board, and the teacher wants me to fill in an answer, so I'm going to try and do something over here. I see, for example, that if you divide 7 by 7, you get 1. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. And of course, 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I've managed to do some of the answers over here. And of course, the teacher would like to see what I'm doing. So what do? Well, I'm going to now go back to sharing my other screen with you. Sorry, that's not the right one. I'm going to share my one over here. And as the teacher, I've put my worksheet on the board for you. You are working on it, and you're going to say to me, I've already answered the question. Well, I want to see what you've done. So I click on Grid View, and Grid View shows me all the students that have signed in. And in particular, I see that Steve Test has signed in. I'm just going to have a quick look to see what he's done. That looks very impressive. And what I'm going to do is join his board. So now I am on Steve Test's board, and I'm going to say, great. So I'm giving that student instant feedback on their board. No one else can see it, only that particular student. And of course, if I go back to instructor, I'm back to the instructor's board, and I have my worksheets here. And there are many other features you can add. For example, if I go to the next page, you will see on this page, I've used one of the manipulatives. So when you go and click on this little palette over here, and you go to manipulatives, I'm going to choose a manipulative, let's say a clock. Here we go, there's a clock. I want to just move it. So let me move it. There we go. I want to move the clock here. I want to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's move it down a bit over here. And now if I'm teaching the time with the students, then what I might find easy is moving these things around. And of course, the student will see this on their board. And if they want to, if I go like this and I say, what time is it now? They would have to write the time next to it, and then I could change it, and they would have to write the time next to it. You can do hundreds, tens, and units. If I have, let's say, for example, 4, 6, 7, that is 4 hundreds, that is 6 tens, and that is 7 ones, and that gives me 467. So you can add a range of manipulatives and they keep adding new ones every day. So you're just going to keep an eye on all these amazing things and then use them in your lesson plans. And of course, students can send you messages. When they click on the little hand, they've got options to say, I need a toilet break. Can you go slower? Can you go faster? Or I don't understand. You can change, for example, your color scheme. You can change, for example, over here, if I put class timers, I can put a timer on the board to say we're going to expire in 1 minute's time. And of course, what will happen is the timer will start. And when it gets to 0, it'll go beep, 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 and let people know that we've actually reached the end of that exercise. So it really is a cool tool. You've got lots of things you can add. You can even change the background to a grid if you are doing coordinates and working out shapes and geometry. You've got a range of other backgrounds you can choose. There's music sheets, there's coordinate planes. If I click on a coordinate plane, I can say only the positive quadrants. And if I click on it, there you go. I've got my positive quadrant over there. So it really is a case of you building what you feel is useful. And I'm going to stop there because I don't want to encroach too much on that time. So I'm going